Is my voice reaching your ears?
Shenlong, aka Shenron.
You have been summoned, brought here from a land far, far away.
A voice calls out to you. Oh, nice. Loving West City, man. That looks sick. Toriyama, always on point.
Who are you, and what are you doing here?
Luma,
Do you
aka
know what
Bulma.
brought you here, and where you came from? I mean, do you even know where you are? And it's not like you or I have any lead, so why not join the GS squad?
Loving these graphics.
Hey, you! Keep your hands off that, you dirty thief!
Nice voice acting.
And you're finished. I'll knock you right into next week, do you hear me?
So, what do you say?
Gamma
Will you fight
one.
with us for the sake of world peace? You still don't know much about this world, right?
These designs, man. Yo.
I want to test you with a special mission. Bulma and I talked it over, and we have decided that you will enroll in a school. There, you will learn more about this world.
Getting My Hero Academia vibes. Liusa? Oh, how do you say that? Lilica. Rom. Oh, it's the girl that was singing in the first trailer.
Well, nice to meet you.
Hey, punk, what do
Tap.
you think you're staring at?
He's got to be related to Bluma, aka Bulma.
Time to roll out! We're the GS squad! Champion of justice!
Typical great Saiyaman stuff.
Time to show what we can do.
Ooh, I like the gameplay, looking pretty good. Graphics are awesome in this. Way better even than
Girls like
Xenoverse 2.
us never lose. Right, trusty sidekick?
Oh,
I feel some weird connection between us.
sounds like Krillin, Vegeta, Teen Shinnok, Piccolo,
Impossible.
We can win if we work together.
Trunks. Oh, what is this technique? He just transformed into Trunks? That voice awakens your power. My man just...
do it. You can win this. I know it.
You've grown strong.
What the...
You might even have more potential than
You can transform into the characters of the past?
Feel that power?
Chala, head chala.
giving it everything you've got. Challenging us was your first mistake. It'll also be your last.
Dude, these graphics. This is the best Xenoverse has ever looked. Is it doing it? Super Saiyan, they got the green hair like in Broly. Love that technique, that detail. Kaioken? Is it Kaioken into Kamehameha?
Superhero never turns their back on a person in need. Right, sidekick? Today begins the first chapter of our heroic saga.
Oh, cut the sword off. Cut the tail off with the sword. Nice. Yo, them graphics, those gameplay, the graphics, phenomenal. I'm digging it, and now I'm even more intrigued in the story. Like, yo, I need to know what's going on. Wow, this is looking phenomenal. Excellent. We start off with the golden light, and you get Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3, which is fantastic. AKA, Shenlong, AKA Shenron, basically coming on out. You have been chosen. Maybe this dude at this point is just glad to see someone other than Buruma, AKA Bulma, as we can see how she remained young, right? All right, so as I was mentioning, a voice calls out to you, and we get our first look at West City in the future, and look at that. Like when I first saw it, guys, fantastic. Look at this. This looks amazing. Like, yo, if you're a Dragon Ball fan, I just don't see how you could possibly say you wouldn't want to visit an amusement park like this, because, man, this is on point right here. This looks fantastic. I want to visit this realm because, whoa, look at this. This just looks fun, man. The futuristic world, man. Toriyama's designs always on point, like I was saying. And we get our shot from the trailer right there with Bulma, aka Bulma. I'm still getting messed up when I'm trying to pronounce the Japanese version one there. It could be quite a tongue twister, but yeah, Bulma, aka Bulma, is basically seeing player number one, who apparently the fandom of Xenoverse has dubbed John 1000, and the orange-haired girl is Jane 1000. Gotta love those generic names. And so there we go. Bulma, aka Bulma, is still looking a little puzzled basically over this, and yeah, we're just getting our look at West City. Like, this is fantastic. You know, if when I buy the game, I'm gonna want to just explore. I'm probably never gonna do story mode to begin. I'm just gonna want to explore. I might make a whole dedicated live stream to just explore, and we'll see when the game comes out, because man, I want to see the details that Dips put into this. So man, like I said, this is the best West City has ever looked. I love the designs, the hoodie there, and walking around. It just feels like a mall, man. I actually just got through visiting the Mall of America out in Minnesota recently, and it was unlike any mall I have ever seen. That's kind of why I'm getting the vibes of walking around here and stuff. And so yeah, you see how they've got all the futuristic worlds, just like the way the whole hangouts look like. Basically, I don't know if this is like a bowling club or something, or just a nighttime hangout club, but it looks fantastic. The sheer love and design that went to every single one of these things looks fantastic. Are these like futuristic Saiyajin space pods or something? And I guess you get to walk around with Bulma, aka Bulma, and yeah, like I said, you even see the Ozaru. Like, they're actually actively advertising the Ozaru. So you got the big giant ape burger, you know, like the Ozaru, aka Great Ape. That's fantastic. Or as the Lord of the Emperor, or the Emperor of the Universe would say, monkeys. Those giant, filthy, stinking monkeys, basically, because it is a giant monkey. And yeah, so we get basically player number one, or as the anime, the Dragon Ball community has dubbed him, John 1000. That name, I just can't. I'm so late to the game, y'all, with that meme. But yeah, here you go. He's talking with Bulma, aka Bulma, and he says something that's puzzling and stuff. I don't remember what the voiceovers were saying in the trailer during point by point, but I did get a good grasp of it. And so yeah, she's looking right there at him, and she seems very happy. And yeah, man, we got to give a shout out to Bulma, aka Bulma, because holy crap, man, may we all be so lucky to look that fantastic when we're in our elderly years, our 80s, our 90s, our 100s. Look as fantastic as she does in her 300s. This woman's in her 300s. Look how fantastic. Smooth skin. Shoot, looks like she's still in her 30s. Like, holy crap. Of course, we all know Bulma was always on some buffoonery and stuff like that. So I'll talk more about it in my analysis section coming up later in the stream. And so we get our speed right here coming in, zooming in the camera. I'm not sure who this girl is right here, and we get more look at the background. See, that's what I love about doing these frame by frame breakdowns, is you totally get to see things that you didn't get to see earlier in the trailer, because when everything's moving by fast, you're like, oh, and now like, boom, I get to really sit down and analyze the crap out of each of these frames. And I love his facial expression. He's like, you know, just how it is. And I don't know who this girl is. I feel like we've seen, yeah, now that I see it, with the pigtails, the brownish hair, the glasses, I think she may have been the girl in the first trailer. I don't know, or maybe that was one of the other girls coming up, who's no like Lilica, or something like that. I think it's her name. Oh, sorry, apologize, guys. I'm trying to remember these new names. We just got introduced to these characters, but yeah, yeah, he comes in, and there we go. We get Brett, who's coming right in fast. Got a speed cloud under them. Look at how fast that boy is coming in, and he comes right in. He's about to do the kick, and yo, I you know what? I'm a Dragon Ball fan that knows this stuff. You've all probably seen the classic design that Akira Toriyama, one of my favorite illustrations he ever did, of Ultimate Gohan, when Gohan does that exact same signature pose and he's coming in fast. And like I said, and I'll go more in the analysis section, this guy right here is probably going to be somebody who I think honestly is someone who is related to Son Gohan in that family, the whole Son family. So more about that in the analysis section coming up. But right here, man, I love this. This might be a cool call out. And so Brett comes in flying, and he is livid, man. He's angry. He's got the fist fly. Look at that, man. Stop clean. About to go ahead and deliver, what is that, a big time left, and he's coming in. It's coming in, and oh, look, it's already taking up most of the camera. And did he get the best shot? He's like, ah! Yeah, man, that guy has got the ferociousness on his face. You've got that fire of a Saiyajin for sure. And the guy's like, huh? What you up here, bro? What you doing? So John 1000 here, he is not impressed at all. And you see Brett basically stops, and he's holding back his punch, and I guess he's using it as like a intimidation. Now, if I do remember right with the voiceover at this point in the trailer, he's basically all like, you know, stop it, let go of her. Like, I guess he feels like he needs to defend Bulma, aka Bulma. As you get to see right there, he basically puts his hand right in front of her, and Bulma, aka Bulma, is livid. She's like, come on, like, stop being so serious. You jumped the gun too quickly. And hey, anybody know the Sun family? It's definitely her. She's been around for, at this point, for like 300 something years, and she's known the Sun family going back to when she was 16 years old. So she knows very well the you know, how quick this family can be to jump the gun on things and be a little too hasty, and you know. So yeah, I love the fighting pose here with Brett and just how he's getting on guard. That's a really great shot. I had to use it for the thumbnail for this live stream, so that was fantastic and awesome. And I just love how he's getting like, you know, he is ready to go and stuff like that. And we get our first look at the gameplay. All right, so we get our first look at the gameplay, which is also, of course, the most important part of any video game beyond graphics and cutscenes and beautiful looking backgrounds like this. You got to see how it looks, and we see right there. Now, this is where my expertise in this area is not going to be as good as someone who's been playing this game for the last 10 years, Xenoverse 2, obviously with so much DLC, because I stopped after I beat the main base game. And so gameplay wise, I'm not sure exactly what's been added over the years for Xenoverse 2, but visually it looks really good. So he kicks him right there and he disappears and teleports, and this is something we do see in the gameplay a lot, that you can teleport behind him. Now, this might be a staple of the Xenoverse games, so it's pretty cool. I love the clashing right here. That looks fantastic, and you just got the punches and the kicks and the fast-paced action. You know how they are in Dragon Ball. You know, that type of stuff and everything. So that was pretty good to see. And he basically goes in for like a, you know, big knee, a big kick, coming in there with another elbow shot, coming in with another fist. Man, look at this. Both doing a stare down. They both go into big collision, and who's gonna win? And boom, we get a big giant blast. And oh, it's Brett. Brett is on the defense. Brett's the one who, even though he started this fight, he's the one with his back up against the wall, as John 1000, as the fandom has deemed his name, has come in with a flashing light. Look at that boy, got the glow, the shine. As I always like to say, we get these type of huge explosion blasts, and what this blast effect and these lights remind me of is very much when Goku and Vegeta both do the fusion and become Gogeta. So that, I thought that was pretty cool. That's awesome. The punching right here. So yeah, gameplay looks pretty cool and everything. Like I said, I haven't played Xenoverse in a while, but obviously gameplay wise, it must be doing something right to have been able to have such a longevity of 10 years. And then you got right here in the cutscene, so this must be like the introduction of your created character meeting Brett, who looks very confident and everything. And there you go, Bulma, aka Bulma, looking absolutely angry. Love these facial expressions. I love the cutscenes. I love the graphics too. One of my things about Xenoverse's graphics that kind of always got me is that they just appeared, the models always appeared really super overly bulky, and not in the way like the way Toriyama would draw it, even like Super Trunks when he was Super Saiyajin grade number 4, or was it no grade 3 it was. And yeah, this looks like just so much more proportionate to how Toriyama drew the characters and stuff, whether it's muscle or his more later leaner physiques that he would go about. So yeah, that was interesting. But yeah, I love the detail in these cutscenes, and yeah, I really love Brett's personality so far. He has been a standout in these Xenoverse 3 trailers, because Brett right there just looked absolutely on point. He looks like he's the life of the party, which is what you're gonna need as a Dragon Ball character and stuff. And he's ready to challenge. And like I said, I'm loving the outfit and everything. It totally looks same as what similar to what Gohan was wearing at the beginning of Dragon Ball Z. And I love these facial expressions. He's like, and it's just a shame, because these characters, and I think I remember this in Xenoverse 2, these characters are very expressive. The creative characters that you play, they are very, very expressive. But through it all, what ends up happening with these guys, despite it, is that in Xenoverse 2 is they're kind of like a mute. They don't say anything, so they're constantly all like, it throws me off. They don't do any voiceovers for the creative characters, and maybe there's scenario situations. It'd be cool if you could voice over your own character. Obviously, some people would probably abuse the crap. You'll probably get people like me that will actually try to basically give a character a voice. Like, what? Me? No, you don't understand. No, wait, But then there's be people who just go on, yeah, what's up, me? Yeah, and they'll start saying offensive stuff that doesn't even have anything to do with Dragon Ball, and they'll just be doing any old random voice that not really fits the character, which is kind of the fun of it. But if you got people who are going to abuse it, I understand why they don't implement something like that. And I love it though. Like he's like, they go from, I love it. The facial expressions are on point, but to be for real, Dimps have always been on point with their character model and cutscenes and facial expressions going back to the OG Budokai back in 2002. That's why till this day, Budokai 1's cutscenes still hold up, even as many Dragon Ball games we've had since then, almost a quarter century later. So Dimps has always been really good at this when they would implement it. So yeah, it's just a shame though that the character is going to have, your creative character is going to have such a great facial expressions, animations, and they're probably going to be mute. Don't even say anything. They don't even love saying nothing in the trailer and stuff like that. All right, so we get Gamma 1. Now, interesting, and I didn't notice this in the trailer, but this is why I love doing these frame by frame backgrounds. 1000, Gamma 1000. So is this a new Gamma? Or I mean, they're calling him Gamma 1, so he's just wearing 1000 now. So that was interesting to see, and you got Gamma 1 talking here, and I still stand by what I was saying before. Gamma 2 is still not been recreated. Like at this point, we're like 300 years or so, more or less 300 years past them defeating Cell Max, and you just think in all that time, did Bulma, aka Bulma, not come up with a way to create? Did she not look at Gamma 1's designs? Did Dr. Hito not find up a new way to know how to create Gamma 2? Like, I mean, hey, he helped with the Gammas, so they didn't decide to make a Gamma 2. They just set with Gamma 1. So interesting. And then you would think 300 years later, with all the technology advancements, surely they would want to create Gamma 2 to bring him back and make Gamma 1, but no, they've kept it Gamma 1 and given him 1000. So they wanted to keep Gamma just at where he is. So it is what it is and everything, but it's cool to see Gamma 1 still here. And like I said, Brett, man, just seems like that dude that's a life of the party. Like if I don't party like that and stuff and everything. I'm all about my content work, but I imagine that if you want to party and you want to bring somebody who's going to be the life of the party, then hey, there you go. Brett's your guy and everything. You guys out there who go and party, I don't. You out there that do, let me know if you agree. Is Brett the type of guy you would want to party with? And so, right here, I love the shots of your creative character, and so these are the cutscenes, and we get another great look. So this is inside what looks like the GS lab, the Great Saiyaman, Great Saya, whatever they're calling the squad and everything, and this looks fantastic. Like, man, this just makes you realize the late great Akira Toriyama, what gonna really miss so much is his creativity, because I always said if you always had me to narrow down something about Akira Toriyama, like one big standout of his work more than anything, the story, the characters, I always would say at the end of the day, it was that man's creativity. The creativity of Toriyama. Some of his later work was kind of up and down, but the one thing that we could not say is Toriyama's creativity when it came to the designs that he would create and the world building. Holy crap, that man was always on point, and we see it here even with some of his final works and the designs he came up here, man. This is great. I love the futuristic looking world, the hologram of the planet. Love that you can walk around it. Love the details and everything into it. I love the backdrops where you can see the rest of the GS force and or GS squad there. That looks great. That's fantastic. I love the lighting, like here, like this is fantastic. The greens, the yellows, just the use of colors and stuff. And that's something that was really good about Toriyama, is that he always knew how to stay on point with colors as an an artist myself, you got to know about complementary colors, and he did his thing for sure with that. I love that we can explore and walk around. So this looks interesting. Like, we got buildings. Once again, as someone who hasn't played Xenoverse since like 2016 when it first came out, if I remember, it was like, was it Toki City or Capital? So I forget. See, I haven't played the game in a while, so forgive me on that and everything. But the city and everything, like, you know what, might as well look it up while I'm here live on the air. Let's see what we got. What was it called? The Xenoverse cities. Let's see what the Xenoverse cities were. So Kantan City, yeah, right. There was, and there, the other one, right, was the original Time Patrol. Yeah, it was Kantan City. I don't know. Oh yeah, Toki City and Kantan City, right? Yeah, so you could only like explore around those. But in the new one, from what we're seeing with the new one, and I'm liking this right now, is it feels like that you can actually explore inside the building. So I'm loving that. Like, now we know we can not only just fly around outside, but actually go inside the buildings. And I love that type of free roam. Like, that is cool. It looks so good, so interesting. And I love that we can see the outside, get on top of the buildings right there, as you can see with Gamma 1 and Brett. So I'm just digging this. I love it. I love this shot right here. Bulma, aka Bulma, man, the way she's got the sweat and everything and stuff like that, and you got Gamma 1 right there. So I'm very interested to see what Bulma's whole idea in this world, because she looks like through a lot of this trailer, and I'm seeing it now frame by frame, she is fed up. She's obviously fed up with dealing with some of these people and stuff. They get on her last nerve. She loves them, but it seems like they get on her last nerves and everything. So I can't wait to see what the story is going on about here and everything like that. Look at the details, man. Look at the details and the shadows. The shadows and the cast shadows and everything like that's fantastic. Classic warm up that you see Son Goku constantly doing and everything. That's actually a warm up I do legitimately on my workouts. I do that one. It's one of my favorite ones. You know, that's the one where Goku's like, ha ha, so excited. Yeah, I love that, man. But the outside of this place looks good. Like I said, I might have to waste the first few hours flying around this whole entire West City and seeing what it offers, because I want to see what the developers did. They put some good serious time into this. Love these graphics, love these backgrounds. Tremendous. Some of the best backgrounds I've seen in a Dragon Ball game. Hands down for me, man. I gotta explore this world. Honestly, that's what I did with the first couple of hours of Kakarot. I was just flying around the whole area. There were times I would fly around to discover certain things. I remember on Kakarot when you're fighting Imperfect Cell, I was flying around because I like seeing the details of how you can see the clothes laid everywhere. Like Cell actually, went ahead and sucked everybody up to absorb for their energy until they can reach 17 and 18, right? And I did the same thing when you fly back as Gohan from the land of the Kaioshin, aka the Supreme Kais, and go to fight Subaru. I flew around those cities because I just want to see what details the developers would put in there. And CC2, to their credit, they were on point. They knew the mission. There's no people walking around. The Earth looks completely deserted because Super Buu wiped everybody out, and I was like, that's on point. I love those little details. I love free roaming, man. Sometimes I do that in video games that are wide open. I just like to free roam and just explore and see the detail in the games. I did that on like Metal Gear Solid 4. My friend's like, 5 hours and this is how much you've advanced the game? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, this is a gorgeous looking game. I want to go ahead and explore around, look at the details and stuff. So man, yeah, I definitely can see myself doing that. At least now with me being a content creator, I can live stream it and everything and talk with you guys and stuff about it. So the WCU, so I think this is the, this from what I'm looking at, this is the school that they go to and everything. So he's probably on campus here. And yeah, you go in here and man, this is fantastic. Like I said, this looks awesome. Like this looks fantastic. And I mean, I know the idea is to make it look like future. Like this is probably how schools will look in the future, but I love it. Just the inside of that and everything. Like I love the classroom setting, and it's very similar to like Orange Star High School when Gohan was in high school there and everything. And here at WCU, they've got the big Tron and everything. Like just, this is fantastic. This is a high quality school right here, man. This is some good money right here if you go into a school like this. And I don't know if you guys noticed this. This is something I noticed in these frame by frame breakdowns. If we look at the very lower bottom, you see a green figure with a yellow shirt and purple long sleeve shirt. Yo, is that my man Piccolo? They got they got Piccolo. All over here from that one legendary filler episode where he's driving. Piccolo coming in, dressed up, going to school 300 years later. After 300 years on this planet, and I don't know what you haven't learned that could be learned at this point. Like, obviously for college, people go back to college and everything, but let's say if this was high school, if it's 300 years and you're still going to high school, I just don't know. I don't know. I really don't know how you're not getting it. But obviously here, 300 years later, it shows just still not too late for school. That gotta be just a reference. Like, I doubt Piccolo's gonna be going to school in this and dressing like that and stuff. But overall, what I think is really cool about this is that it looks like they definitely are putting Easter eggs into the game where you can go ahead and probably pick Piccolo's old school outfit from that one anime episode filler and then just go ahead and go to school like that. So I thought that's pretty cool. Lilica, right? Lilica, I think is how you say her name. And everything, and actually I think I should have it right up here in my notes for it. Yeah, because I was butchering it in the beginning of the in the trailer that you guys saw earlier until she said it. Where is the name here? I know I got it right here in my notes somewhere. Yeah, so I think in Japanese it's Ririka, but in English Lilica. So Lilica. All right, so we got Lilica, and I guess we're meeting Brett's friends here, and who basically are going to become our friends as the created character. So Lilica right here, and we did see her in the first trailer in animation form, and right now, man, and I mentioned this too, all of this is it. I said it I said it in my trailer reaction, and I'm saying it here in the breakdown. Anyone else getting the Boku no Hero Academia vibes, aka My Hero Academia vibes? Like, it's got that whole superhero thing, going to school and everything. Yeah, this really feels like a big giant sequel almost to Dragon Ball Superhero, because this is from what I'm seeing in this trailer, it's very superhero theme, and that's something right there. So yeah, we get to meet some of the new cast here, and like I said, man, I love it. I love how charismatic he is. Like, look at, like, yo, like, dude, I am loving Brett's personality, man. Life of the freaking party this dude is, man. So I'm loving how energetic Brett is. He's gonna be an absolute blast, the main character, I assume, for Xenoverse 3, and you just got him in the background pointing and everything and stuff, which is funny because I was saying there's the people that the community has dubbed John 1000. I'm like, he doesn't look to have that much of a personality compared to Brett, and now that we know, obviously that's why, because they're only gonna do so much with the personality. It's your created character. You're just there to feel like you're part of the story with your own creation, but overall it's Brett who's going to be probably carrying the story. And we get Lilica coming in right here over at Brett and winking, and like, all right, we got some flirting going on. We must got some flirting. I don't know if they're going to be interest or something, but you know, it kind of goes back to what I was saying. I'm thinking this dude has got to be a descendant of Son Gohan, and her, y'all don't see it with the pigtails. If you guys remember, I did in my Sparking Zero live stream when I played and gave my authentic reaction for the first time playing as Videl. I mentioned that, you know, my favorite hair design for Videl, between her two main ones, the short hair and the long hair when she first appears in DBZ, was that type of hairstyle that we see Lilica has. And yeah, that's what it reminds me. Like, it's almost as if they're trying to kind of say, like, 300 something years later, it's still happening. You got somebody in Gohan's family is falling in love with another girl that has a very similar hairstyle to Videl with those pigtails. So I don't know if it's a romance going on here in the story, but hey, she looks fun herself and everything. So these are just going to be some great fun characters, really keeping the spirit of Toriyama's creations alive, because for, you know, a serious Toriyama could make the story, he was a gag manga artist at heart, and he loved creating these fun characters that could always make us laugh and charm us. And so I love it here, and I love, look at the wink back, like, oh, look at that, okay, my man's got the riz. She comes in winking at him, and he's like, I'm winking back at you. Like, okay, they got something going on here. Maybe they do. I'm interested to see what their relationship is like and everything. Maybe they're just close friends. Maybe they are lovers. We're gonna find out and everything. But yeah, I just feel I get Gohan and Videl vibes here, y'all. I mean, it can't be just me. Anyone else getting Gohan and Videl vibes here? And then so we get our next character look design right here. And once again, Toriyama on point with these designs. We get Ram here, and that's when I saw when it gets to her head, I'm like, oh, Ram is the one who was singing in the very beginning of the trailer and stuff. And so I really love how dramatic she is with the background, the lighting. And it just feels so good to see a new generation of Dragon Ball characters. For those of you who've been following since at least my Dragon Ball Super review days, you know that I've been all about wanting to see the story progress, new characters, a new generation of characters, and it feels like we're finally getting it. And it's really cool to know that before Toriyama left this planet, he left this here, a new batch of generational characters for us to enjoy. So always rest in peace to the late great Akira Toriyama, and Ram looks like a fun character as well. I'm digging her design. One of the most interesting new designs I think we've gotten so far out of these characters and everything. So I feel like this is it. These are probably going to be some of our main cast right here. So it's going to be very interesting. And so I'm guessing she's a superstar or something like that already and still going to school. So it'd be interesting to see how this works out. And we're seeing more of that. Man, look at the details of the chairs. Even the details in the chair is on point. Look at that texture, man. I am absolutely loving this. This is just really great. And I don't know what she must have said here, but obviously whatever, it has gotten on Lilica's last nerve or something, and she's shaking her head and stuff like that. So I'm very interested to see the dynamic and relationship between these characters, because as we remember in the very first trailer where these characters were revealed, Brett just came flying right past, and you saw Lilica looking on there, and she gets all mad and puts her fists all on her hips and everything. So that was interesting right there. And then we see Ram here once again talking. Love the design. I can't wait to see what we got here. All right, so we got Tap here. So we got Tap coming in, and I know once again it had to run through every other fan's mind. Do we not get Bulma, aka Bulma, and Vegeta vibes here? I mean, if this is not the spitting image of a love child from the Bulma, aka Bulma, and Vegeta clan, what is? This man's got the blue hair like Bulma, aka Bulma. He's got the eyes and facial structure like Vegeta. He looks almost like he's SS3 with no eyebrows right there, man. So yeah, interesting design on Tap. Like, dude looks livid. Love it, love it. He's got that Vegeta energy, and right here I get Chucky vibes. You know, like y'all remember the little Dow, Killer Dow Chuckies? You know, that's what I get out of here just looking at that facial expression. You know how Chucky looks before he tries to stab somebody and everything. And look at that. I mean, they're scared. Like, they're like, whoa. So even the big guy here, man, even the big guys. I know muscle ain't everything in a fight, but when it comes to Dragon Ball, we've seen some inconsistencies. We've seen slow pokes like Super Saiyajin Grade 4 Trunks, and we've seen other people like Super Saiyajin Legendary Broly as the legendary Super Saiyajin. So yeah, this guy is livid. And yeah, man, another thing I get Kuwabara. You guys know Kuwabara Spirit Sword. For all my Yu Yu Hakusho fans out there, that's what I'm getting out of his hairstyle too. And there's a guy right there speaking has exactly Kuwabara's hairstyle. Man, like, yeah, so I guess they're like the bullies. They seem like the class bullies and go around the college, or I mean, this has got to be like high school, because you ain't doing this in college. I can tell you, they're kick you out right now. They're spending way too much money in college to be doing stuff like this. So these must be like the high school bullies or something like that. And everything, stuff like that. So yeah, I guess they go around bullying people, and it's gonna be interesting to see what the dynamic here is and stuff. But you get that Vegeta vibe. He is the leader of this group, and you're seeing here that these three guys follow him. It's very much like Nappa and Raditz. They were bigger than Vegeta, but they took orders. Raditz was like, yes sir, no problem here, no problem sir Vegeta. You had Nappa, yes sir, no problem Vegeta, and Vegeta's just sitting right there. That's right, you better. So yeah, man, that's what I'm getting the vibes. And yeah, I'm loving his design too, man. You're seeing right there, and we see that he has a tail, so obviously he is without a doubt a Saiyajin warrior. And I love the ground right here and the electricity and just the ferocity that he puts his foot down, and boom, right there. And even the details in the boot is really well done, man. You know, I always talk about Sparking Zero is a gorgeous looking game. Xenoverse 3 is definitely a gorgeous looking game. It doesn't quite look like the anime as much as Sparking Zero does, but this one kind of looks more like Dragon Ball Superhero. And hey, Superhero I think was the best looking CGI we ever got when it came to Dragon Ball movie. So yeah, that's really awesome. So yeah, I'm digging his design and everything, and just really want to know what his story is. And then we see here in West City the green portal, because I think, yeah, they teleport sometimes through these green portals, and it just comes out blasting and everything. Like, that's really awesome. And we see the big shine and all that stuff, and there he is, Brett, coming flying out. Like, dude is just ready to fight. Total Saiyajin right there. And then there's your created character everyone calls John 1000 coming flying out, and they both come ahead, and I love that shot, man. This looks like something out of an opening of an anime, you know, out of frame, and characters jump up and they slow down the motion, and the music starts hitting into that big beat, you know. That's what this reminds me of. And they're just coming on, flying down, and they both land on the ground. And this right here is what brought a huge smile to my face, as you saw in the trailer reaction. So you see right here, they're basically getting geared up, and they both do this hilarious pose. I just thought it was hilarious. You know, it's typical stuff you would see with Ginyu Force, the Great Saiyan Man, and all that stuff, and everything. This is just hilarious. Great. This is total Toriyama humor right here. So we're getting more look into the gameplay here, and you're seeing the combos and the teleportation and everything. And like I said, I don't remember if this is a staple when it comes to Xenoverse. I did always love that you could play with multiple characters on screen at once in Xenoverse. You can't do that in Sparking Zero. It's turn-based, so that's really cool. So we're seeing a lot of these generic characters who I think are just hologram warriors, since we've seen the first Age 1000. Man, the background's just looking fantastic. The teleportation. So I love the drop kick here, right here, and boom! Love that drop kick, man. That's like a picture perfect Randy Orton type of drop kick for those of you WWE fans and stuff, man. Boom, right in the back, sends that guy flying. And so yeah, you could just literally fight these things in the city, and I guess if they're holograms, you can just send them flying to buildings, because it's just gonna disperse. And then you have them fighting inside here. This must be like a chamber room, like I'm one of those gravity chambers, you know, just punching and kicking knees. And I love it. You can teleport behind and send them flying, and then I love you can fly back here, sending the blasts out and everything. Like, that's pretty awesome. I'm really enjoying that. And you got both. They can do some team techniques, so both punching and kicking at the same time. I'm loving it. It's like boom, look at that, kick into the ground, back in West City, punching and everything, knee and kicks. So it's gonna be interesting how you chain combos together. Boom, uppercut, kick, man, just not letting this guy breathe at all. Bam, right there, right in the face. Boom, another punch. Boom, another punch. Boom, another punch. Boom, a big uppercut sends that boy flying. And look at him, he's like, whoa, dude, it's almost like Bruce, like, what? You know, that's how I gotta get vibes of that, like Bruce Lee vibes and stuff like that. Oh man, shout out to the late great Bruce Lee. And then he comes in, he's like, boom, oh, kick right to the stomach, sends the guy flying, and then he goes to black. And this right here is where things got very interesting. This got quite the reaction out of me. So we see him glowing here and everything, and wondering what's going to go on. And that was interesting. You know, this reminds me, if you guys remember the old PS3 game, is like, man, almost like 15 years old or something. But it was no, almost over 15 years old. This game, almost 20 years old at this point. Heavenly Sword. Yeah, like almost 19 years old. I think 19 years ago when that game came out. Heavenly Sword, Nariko, if you all remember, she yeah, this is her final form when she's glowing white and stuff, like heavenly white. Man, that's what this reminded me of. And so John 1000, as the community has dubbed him, starts calling out, and this is where we started hearing Piccolo, Trunks, Vegeta, Krillin. We started hearing all those voices, and we see this start to fly, like this blue flaming orange. Like, okay, what's gonna happen? And we see right now, your created character is looking very determined, and look at that face. He is ready, and basically he just goes ahead and powers up and sends it all up into the sky and everything. Like, okay, what's he about to unleash? Because I'm getting like Gogeta vibes. Like, that's almost like Gogeta what he does when he does like that soul crusher type of technique, and he sends it into the sky, and you see the Capsule Corp logo right there, and it starts forming this big hologram. You're like, okay, what's gonna happen? What is happening here? And the type of visual effects, man, are on point, absolutely. And the flame starts blowing, and then he has it in his hand, and you know, he's got it all, the flame in his hand, and he starts pushing it into his sternum, and I'm like, oh man, this guy's powering up. What is he about to do? What type of technique? And I love that. Like, look how sick that is. Just the detail they put in these graphics frame by frame. When you do frame by frame, it really allows you to appreciate what the animators, what the developers did in terms of taking their time to make sure that every part of this game looks gorgeous. And I love the big, huge blast explosion here. Like, look at that aura. That is sick, man. All type of aura farming, literally and figuratively. And we get the cool impact frame and the big blast, and it ends up going pure white. And when the blasts disperse, we see it right there, future Trunks. And that's the part where I was like, yo, my man just transformed into future Trunks. And I'm like, okay, you can transform into characters of the past, and you see Trunks right there is all on point. That voice awakens your power. And Trunks just goes right in here and boom. Was this the burning slash attack with the sword? Like boom, boom, how he killed Frieza. And this is really cool detail. You guys notice how very much like Halo. So in Dragon Ball, we know that when a warrior is allowed to keep their body after death, they have the golden halo around their body. And here they have the Capsule Corp halo around their body. So yeah, I don't think this is the actual Trunks being summoned from the past. This is actual transforming in Trunks, and I don't know how the technology works, so I'm looking forward to seeing how it works. But yeah, we get the burning slash attack in base form, just like when he killed Frieza. And then right here, I love it, turning him right there, spinning him around. Look at that. That's exactly like the eye. I love that their eyes go wider. Oh, every time. We saw that in the very first trailer, and Trunks throws him in the air, or John 1000 as they call his name now, is Trunks throws him in the air and does the oh my gosh, what was that technique called? The heat dome attack. Okay, yeah, so that's the heat dome attack, right? All right, so he does the heat dome attack, and that's look at that, man. That visual looking awesome. Trunks looking all types of awesome there. Sends the big blast. Love the aura. It's like almost fiery. This is like a flaming one. Like, that's what this looks like to me. Like, this was like a flaming heat dome. And so you can do the techniques of the characters. And so we see Piccolo right here, total aura farming Piccolo up here. And so there we go, right there, as if you can become Piccolo. You see the halo, the Capsule Corp halo above his head and everything. So that's really awesome. And then you see right here, he does the light grenade, right? This is what he used to try and take out Imperfect Cell and stuff. And the visual of this just looks really awesome. And you can do that during battle. So that's cool. And we got some purple and yellow effects in there, like a Mako Koso Pole, aka Special Beam Canyon. We got Green, aka Krillin. And yeah, my man here, right here, he's got the Capsule Corp Halo 2. And you can see he does the Kienzine, aka Destructo Disc. And man, they got that thing looking awesome. Look at the shine, the graphics just sitting there like boom, 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 boom. Love it, man. Love it. And oh, we got Teen Shinhai. Love it. Teen Shinhai still getting some love. An OG Dragon Ball classic. And right there, you see it. He's on guard. He's ready. I love it, man. His model looks awesome in this game. And there it is, the legendary. Dude, look at the graphics. Just even the way they put their hands together, man. On point with these graphics and everything. Oh wow, I'm not even sure the Sparking Zero game has done that. Like the way that's complex right there with the model to put those fingers together like that, it usually just goes like that, and you see channeling the energy, and there it is there. Oh dude, look at the graphics on the hands. That is phenomenal. That is phenomenal. Shout out to Dips. They did a great job with the development of the character models. And there we go, Teen Shinha with the classic. Love how the blue lighting app is the legendary Kikoho, aka Tri-Beam Cannon, and boom, shoots it out. Ha ha ha. Oh, and we got Vegeta, Saiyajin Saga Vegeta, you know, loving it. And this is like, actually this is more like Frieza Saga Vegeta, early Frieza Saga Vegeta, one that didn't need the scouter and everything. And I love how he's looking so confident as only Vegeta can. And this right here is really cool. So he goes in with a bunch, boom, uppercut, and then comes in the right, boom, sends him flying in the air. And then right there, yes, the classic. Look how evil Vegeta is. Oh, you done effed up now. And then he goes right there, dirty fireworks. I love it. This is exactly how he killed Kui and everything, man. As I always say, Kui's only purpose to the story was to be a jobber, to show off how far Vegeta has come, and to show that a low-level jobber used to bully Vegeta, but he's now that powerful. That was all Kui did, and gave us this cool technique. So Kui paying the way for a jobber to be defeated by Vegeta to give him new cool techniques that we can use for video games all the time. So yeah, I'm loving this explosion right there. That is awesome. Dirty fireworks in the game, and this is what's really cool. So he teleports. So once you're done fighting, you teleport or you transform back into yourself. So essentially, this is a technique you can summon to play as characters of the past and use their techniques and fighting styles. And when you're done, you can transform back into your regular create a character. That is awesome, and this goes into a big point that I wanted to make too about the Xenoverse 1 and 2 story mode and versus this story mode. I actually like if this is the extent of what we're getting with characters. Like if the idea here with all these characters is basically that the way we're implementing them in the game is not to be a part of the story, but as just callbacks, then I dig that. I like that the characters themselves are just callbacks that you can play as and transform. That way we get the nostalgia of Dragon Ball. We can play as the characters we all know and love, the Toriyama classics and everything, and we get that in the game. And if that's the extent, I dig that, because Xenoverse 1 and 2, even though I did like the twist on the story, you still were playing through the OG Dragon Ball story from Raditz to Kid Buu. And I know they added more DLC later on, and you played as those characters and stuff like that. It's like the short from the TV specials and the movies. But if this is the extent of it, I dig that, because what it means is that this is the new generation story, and we can focus on the new generation story. Sure, you got Piccolo and Bulma, aka Bulma, that are still part, but they're a part of this newer generation story, which is what I dig. And this is just the callback. You can play as these older characters. So I like if that's the direction they're playing in, because it'd be nice to play Xenoverse 3. And like I said, I'm so interested in these new characters. I want to see what this world is like. I want a whole new story that takes me on a new journey that I've never been through with Dragon Ball before. You can have callbacks to the past, sure, but to just, all right, we're gonna start off with Raditz and the time and everything, and you gotta go back and reset Raditz and Vegeta and Frieza, Cell, Buu, and all that stuff, and recorrect time. Like, let's not do that again. Let's get a completely 100% original story, because I think what you have here in Xenoverse 3 is the real great potential for this to be sort of a what is it called? Like a prologue or something like that. Prologue, I think. Sorry if I mispronounced it. But something like that, to serve as like the beginning. You know, something sort of that starts as like a prequel to where Dragon Ball Super could eventually go. Like, I wouldn't mind if Toyotaro goes this direction, takes Toriyama's final decisions that he made in terms of the character designs and the world building, and decide to go in the future for Dragon Ball, as this is what the story looks like moving forward. So we're past that 10-year time skip. I would love that. And yeah, so if this is the extent of the classic characters in the game, I'm fine with that. Totally fine. Absolutely. But getting back to here, yeah, you can even, and this is interesting, you don't have to transform into the characters in order to use their techniques. So that was really cool here. Here you're seeing him actually use the Gallic gun and fire it off without being transformed into Vegeta. Or maybe it's a thing where you transform into the character once, and then after that you retain their techniques and you add it on. So yeah, but once again, this might have been a thing in Xenoverse. It's been a while I played it. You could probably use all the characters' techniques and stuff like that. So it is what it is there, but I'm really digging that. I'm loving it. That is awesome. And right here, this is another really great detail that really, as they say in professional wrestling, popped me as a fan when you get a big reaction. So we see this character transforming. He gets the greenish eyes right there, and notice right there his hair goes green. It goes from white to green, and I specifically said the detail from Broly. And the reason why I said that in the reaction trailer is because if you all remember, when Vegeta transforms into a Super Saiyan in Dragon Ball Super Broly, his hair doesn't go from black to gold, it goes black to green, and then it goes to gold. And if that's like a little nice subtle nod to what we got in if that's what a little subtle nod to what we got in Xenoverse 3, man, I mean, into a little subtle nod to Broly, and that's what we're getting in Super Xenoverse 3 here. It is just phenomenal. That is phenomenal. That right there is awesome, because that right there, it shows you the attention to detail. Hey, what's up? Eileen in the chat says, is this Xenoverse 3? Yes, it is indeed Xenoverse 3. We got the logo right there and everything. This is my reaction breakdown. Thanks for joining and everything. Glad to see you in the chat and stuff like that. As we're breaking down it frame by frame. And so right here we got SS John 1000, I guess, going SS1 with the gold, and I love the power up. I love it. Oh my gosh, look at the cool action frame right there. I love it. Love the visual. SS1, it's just crazy. That's the thing about being a Dragon Ball fan. No matter how many times we see somebody go SS1, it just looks always so epic. They always find new and cool ways to do it and make it look awesome, as if the first moment you first saw Goku doing it. Speaking of Son Goku, and this is what I'm talking about, callbacks. So notice how when he goes SS1, it's the exact same overhead shot that we got when Goku first goes Super Saiyan in the Frieza saga. And hey, that's cool. If that's how we're gonna get in the game, I'm fine with that. If we don't have to keep revisiting all that. Gogito, thank you for joining the chat, says, yo, I appreciate y'all coming in the chat here for my breakdown of this. So right here, this is another really cool thing. Kaioken, and he's SS1. So this is like Super Kaioken. If you all remember in the filler where Paikuhan, aka Paikon, fights Son Goku in the Afterlife tournament, aka Otherworld tournament in the dub, Goku does at one point go in his Super Saiyan form, summons the Kaioken, and it's basically his way of going Super Kaioken. And so they got the Super Kaioken as a part of it. Once again, this may have been in the other Xenoverse games. So you're seeing right there where it basically sends the hologram warrior up, and he teleports behind him, and then right there, axe handle, boom, out for vengeance, and boom, right to the lower back. Man, they really like attacking these things lower back, man. Maybe that's their weakness. And so he goes ahead flying down. I love that right there. And like, look at the Kaioken Goku. Well, yes, exactly, because once again, another callback. So he does the Kaioken right here, and as he flies, he goes ahead, boom, does the whole double fist right to his back, and sends that guy flying straight down. And then look at that, he teleports behind him and then puts his hand right there, catches him, boom, call back. This is the exact Kaioken attack that Son Goku did to put down Nappa. I absolutely love it, man. Love it. So this is another technique you can do, and I love that he glows. That's some aura farming right there. I'm gonna lower my aura to catch you, and then I put the aura on right there, right on, man. This is so cool. In the chat, we got Gogito says, finally someone appreciates the form. And Eileen says, call back to Nappa. Exactly. Oh, yeah. Super Kaioken. Yeah, I remember that in the OG. Yeah, before we had Super Saiyajin Blue Kaioken, we had Super Kaioken in one filler episode when Goku fought Paikuhan, aka Paikan. So it's cool that we did get that. And so we get right here. He's forming up the Kamehameha and stuff. I don't know why I was so surprised. I was like, he's doing the Kaioken to the Kamehameha. I said that in the actual reaction trailer. But, man, I was like, I was just so much. That's the thing about in those trailers. I'm just like, whoa, wow. You know, now I can be more grounded here in these breakdowns. So I'm loving this. The Kamehameha, man. We got the Kaioken, the Super Saiyan power, the Kamehameha. Look how epic that looks. And he's out for vengeance. Like one more call. This is a callback to like Gogeta. How he had that same face when Gogeta was gonna kill Broly. Holy crap, man. Wow. Gogito in the chat says, do you play Dragon Ball Legends? No, I do not. Eileen though apparently loves Dragon Ball Legends. Man, I don't play Legends, but a lot of people come on these chats requesting about it. So I mean, it must be pretty good. But yeah, it's not a game I've been playing. Getting back to the breakdown here, we got Goku. Well, he's doing Goku's epic Kamehameha. So John 1000, dude, this visual, this Kamehameha looks really awesome. So that was fantastic. And then I love this shot that we got right here. Looks like some what is this? Looks like some perfume or something, and the 2-star Dragon Ball. You know, for all the callbacks they want to do, I'm surprised they didn't do the 4-star Dragon Ball callback. They didn't do that. They could have done that, like, okay. But yeah, we got Brett here grabbing it, and I love this shot. This shot looks awesome. This is phenomenal. Like, this is the type of cutscenes we're getting in Xenoverse. Like, this looks good, and I love these models, man. These models are just such a huge upgrade from what we got in Xenoverse 1 and 2. I love him looking at the 2-star Dragon Balls, and they're sort of inspecting it and everything, and wondering, like, man, it's interesting. Like, what are we doing with the, like, what is the Dragon Ball? Like did Bulma, aka Bulma, not fill these guys in on what the Dragon Balls are? Is she gatekeeping? Is Bulma, aka Bulma, a gatekeeper? And Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3, she only wants to use these Dragon Balls to keep herself young 300 years into her life? Is that what she's doing? Not letting them know about the Dragon Balls? No. Bulma the gatekeeper. Could it be? I mean, I guess maybe Bulma had to do something, obviously, all these years. She's the smartest woman in the world. I don't think she's sharing her technology with everybody else in the world, right? She don't want to share any of that wealth. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I love this shot. This looks just awesome. I really love it. I love his facial expression. He's like, oh, like he has some of the most 0 to 100 facial expressions. Like, one moment he's like, and he's like, and then here he's like, oh, he's like, So yeah, man, I love it. But yeah, I love the shot and everything, the composition, just some good stuff here. You got some stuff going on in the chat. It says it's a gotcha game. Eileen says 4-star OG Dragon Ball. Yeah, that would have been awesome if they would have put this 4-star Dragon Ball here and stuff. I spent so much money on Dragon Ball Legends for nothing. At least I got a new Legends shallot. Well, man, I hope unlike if Legends wasn't worth the money, hopefully this Xenoverse 3 is worth the money, because I'm definitely looking forward to getting it when it comes on out. Yes, the ore farmer himself, Piccolo, still alive, which does make sense given how long Namek Saiyajins, aka Namekians, can live. And I don't know if I haven't mentioned it, it's really cool that Piccolo here has the manga colors. It's not pink. His arm, notice the texture on his arms is not pink, it's yellow. So just like the original manga, I really appreciate those little details. So Piccolo's still around in age 1000. Totally makes sense given the lifespan of Namekian. So I'm assuming that we must still see Dente as well, given that Dente is still is younger than Piccolo. Like I said, I don't understand the Namekian age, because Piccolo is just about like only 4 years younger than Gohan, and he goes from a kid to a full-grown man, and now he just stays a grown man. So I don't know if they age up quickly, and then once they reach adult age, they go, or if you're like Dente, you start off as a kid, grow into like a teen or a young adult, and then you go back to a kid at the end of the manga because Toriyama may have forgot and drew you that way, and thus Kakarot, to stay true to that, ends up going ahead and drawing drawing them that small, and then maybe he goes back to being bigger again towards the end of Dragon Ball Z and into GT and Super. If you guys remember that one, that was hilarious, didn't they? With the size and stuff. But yeah, this right here is pretty good. Nighttime scenes are looking awesome. I love how they use holograms in this game with the hologram texture and touching and stuff like that. That's fantastic. And we even got some of those classic robots like the Pilaf Gang's robots, so that's cool. I love it, man. Dude's up here doing like a frog splash if you're a wrestling fan. So this is Tap, right? Man, dude got some hang time on him. Look at that. Like he's trying to Ming mug you and all that stuff. And then you see his hair right there, and I think he did like a headbutt. Boom! Goes right into this robot machine thing, sends that thing flying down. Thing lands on the ground hard. And here you got Bulma, aka Bulma, is afraid and terrified of something. So I wonder if this is gonna deal with the big villain in the game and stuff. It's gonna be awesome. Like Eileen says, they have their tails. Yes, indeed. Yeah, he's got his tail. So we got Saiyajins with tails. I really want to know what Bulma is so terrified here. Look at that, man. She is absolutely afraid. And now here's something I find interesting. So we know at this point, Bulma, aka Bulma, has been around for 300 years, and in that time frame, she's been around some of the strongest people in the entire universe, some of the strongest people ever known in history, people with the powers of gods. Her husband, her best friend, both were gods in their Super Saiyan form, and who knows how much stronger they got, as Dragon Ball Super hasn't reached yet, way before this point. Yeah, she never learned how to control ki, never wanted to learn ki, and now, you know, you think she'd maybe learn how to become stronger, or maybe she saw how her fellow humans were never able to match the power of the Namekians and the Saiyajins, so she said, screw it. So it's interesting that I thought at this point, Bulma, aka Bulma, would learn how to basically learn ki at this point. So it's interesting. So I'm very interested in what she's terrified of. It must be a new big villain. I'm wondering, who's going to be the big bad villain of this series? So that's gonna be fantastic. We got some interaction in the chat going on here. Don J, what's up? Thank you for joining the chat. I see some familiar faces. Says, would it be cool if they had reintroduced Goku and Vegeta Jr. from Dragon Ball GT's timeline into Age 1000 as Soul Warriors included? Maybe they will. It's too early to tell. Maybe they will be in this game, so we might get to see that. I wouldn't be opposed to it. Goku Black says, just follow. Thank you. I appreciate you all for the love y'all showing tonight and everything for this breakdown. So yeah, we got Brett, and it looks like Brett and your created character are both going to become best of friends and stuff. So, you know, the whole thing, we start off as enemies and become best friends. Total Dragon Ball. I mean, it's happened in so many anime. Yu Yu Hakusho, Yusuke, and Kuwabara. You had it in Goku and Krillin and Dragon Ball, so it makes sense right here. The ending shot here in the nighttime was really cool. With the sword. Look at that man running with the sword, and I love it. He's just running, and the way he takes that sword and then just swings it. Look at that craftsmanship, man. Just look at that ore farmer right there. Swings it around his head. Boom! Slices the sword. I said slices the sword. The sword slices. I made that same mistake in my trailer before I corrected it. In my reaction to the trailer before I corrected myself as well, and slices off the tail. So is this an enemy, or is this Tap that got his tail sliced off? I'm gonna be interested. I want to see what this cutscene's about. Like, there's so many answers that this trailer leaves for the story and what it's broken down for the lore, and I'm really seeing it having broken it down frame by frame. I can't tell whose butt that is. So either it's another Saiyajin warrior with a tail, or it is what's his name, Tap. Are we gonna see Tap transform into a blue Ozaru? That would be cool. I wouldn't mind seeing that. That'd be sick. We never thought we'd see a blue Ozaru and all that stuff. Donjay says, do you think Brett is a descendant of Son Goku or Yamcha, which is the most like possibility? Definitely Goku. I'm gonna go in more detail coming up in my analysis section there. And there we go, the Xenoverse 3 trailer, and that's what they left us, and there it is. That's awesome. Coming in 2027 next year. They still don't have a Dips, Bandai Namco, Toy Animation, obviously all involved. They still don't have a release date, but that was it. Wow. Wow, 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 and more wow. Phenomenal. Toriyama already had Dragon Ball Online out there. Toriyama already did so many things with Dragon Ball when it came to adding new lore material, and now it's added more with Xenoverse 3. There's so much new lore for us to explore, and I can't wait to see what Toriyama left us for this. And I'm serious, guys. I really think with the new story possibilities that Xenoverse 3 has introduced, we could literally have a nice blueprint here for where Dragon Ball Super can go. Finish up the Black Frieza stuff, finish up all that arc, go into the end of Dragon Ball Z, show us what happens beyond the end of Z, and maybe find a cool arc where Toyotaro, he could retire the remaining cast, the characters that we've grown up with, and take what we got here in Xenoverse 3 and make that the new Dragon Ball Super moving forward. New characters for a new generation. I would absolutely love it, because I think it's time for Dragon Ball move forward. That's what I named the title of this live stream. I think Xenoverse 3 absolutely is a good spot. Like I said with this is where I think it should go and everything. So overall, I'm all for it, man. I am absolutely all for it, and things like that, of that nature and stuff like that. I can't wait for it. Absolutely. It's gonna be fun. In the chat, what we got here, Eileen says they should bring back the Super Saiyan grade ape grade ape from GT. Yes, I would love to see that. I want to play that in Sparking Zero. I don't think they've ever put that in the game outside of baby Vegeta. And yeah, throw that in there. Throw that right in there, just like Don J said. Throw all that in there. Throw as many Easter eggs as you want into the game and stuff. I would love to see it. Don J says, I like to see more great Saiyaman transformations. Absolutely, yeah, they look phenomenal in this game, the way they were animated and stuff. Don J in the chat says they should give a secret number of humans in Age 1000 more potential, because Gohan's potential has been passed down to his descendants. Yes, I would love to see more of that being put in, definitely. I mean, I think Piccolo even says in the trailer, he's like, wow, incredible, you have even more potential than Gohan. So yeah, and we all know Toriyama loved using the word potential to just say someone was tremendously powerful, and that's how they're able to excel much quicker. Begin the analysis. So we got 4 new characters. We got Brett, Tap, Ram, and Lilica. And Toriyama himself, before his passing, he actually designed these characters. These characters are always gonna be special because, you know, unfortunately Toriyama's tragic passing, you know, we wish he was still here. Some of the final characters he designed personally, and that's what's gonna make these character designs all the more special. And then there's the original characters right here. From what we have gathered, they were also designed by Toriyama. Starting off, we got Brett, who is in Japanese, his name is pronounced Burretto. So there's official profiles that have been released about them, and his profile bio says an aspiring hero who engages in a friendly rivalry with the protagonist, viewing them as someone he can show the ropes to. So we kind of figured that and everything, that'd be what he would be about and all that stuff. So in Japanese, he is voiced by Hiro Shimana. And sorry if I butcher that, try my best here, but want to give respect out to the Japanese voice actors. And the English voice actor is Damon Mills. And he not only voices him, but he actually basically is, yeah, he's not only voicing Brett, but he's also the lead voice director of the entire English dub, which he says means a lot to him, because this was this is one of the final projects Toriyama ever worked on when it came to Dragon Ball. And so he really wanted to work hard with the cast and everything. So Damon Mills definitely did his thing as a director, doing his thing as the voice of Brett. You all probably hear him all the time. He does Frieza. So yeah, you know, he's been the guy that's been doing this since he was in YouTube. I think back in the day, was he like Lord Cravos and stuff and everything. So yeah, Damon Mills has come a long way. So yeah, based on what we got out of Brett, like I said, I think he's the life of the party. He definitely has the most personality, the most charisma, very charismatic guy. And yeah, as we could tell by his design, very reminiscent of Son Gohan and all that stuff and everything. And here's the thing about it, I mentioned, he is the pun on his name. So one thing I keep thinking about with Brett is his name. It's a pun on baguette, which is a type of bread. That lines up with how the Son family names work. Pan literally means bread. So a lot of people are wondering, myself included, if Brett might actually be connected to Son Gohan, Videl, Pan and Son Goku's bloodline somewhere down in the line of age 1000. It feels like a very Toriyama thing to do, continuing the name tradition with the new character in the future. So I got that in my notes and everything. And yeah, shout out to Sigma. Thank you for join the chat. Yeah, it's one of those things where, to me, when it comes to Brett, yeah, he's got to be part of that family. He's got to. And you know, Bulma, aka Bulma, has always had strong ties with the Son family, going back to when she was 16, first meeting Son Goku and shooting him in the head with a bullet, and it didn't phase him, right? To where we are now, 300-something years later, she's still looking after his descendants like that big auntie. She's an ancient auntie at this point, and all that stuff like that and everything. So, yeah, I'm very interested. It looks like Brett's going to be the main character in the story, and I really want to see where things go. And, hey, could he be the new face of Dragon Ball? Could he assume the Goku position of the entire franchise? I would love to see that moving forward. So definitely, I'm very interested in Brett and looking to see where that goes. All right, so next up, we have Tap. In his profile bio that was released, it says, a genius who skipped a grade to enter university, possessing both brains and brawn. All right, so not high school, in fact, a university. He is definitely in college, and he has his own crew with him. So they're positioned like they're bullies in the trailer, but maybe they're not. Maybe they're just you know, a serious squad and everything, and that's what's going on here. So we'll see more about that and everything. So interesting. Like I said, I like his design. I love his personality and everything. You know, he seems very much got a Vegeta-esque personality. It's gonna be very interesting. The Japanese voice actor for him is Marie Isa, and sorry if I butchered that. The English dub voice actor is Hayden Davio. So yeah, basically that's looking really interesting. They did a phenomenal job. I watched both the Japanese trailer and the English dub trailer. I thought they did a great job. And so here's an interesting thing about the pun that a lot of fans are probably taking into, that I was are thinking of, and this is what I'm thinking of, just because, like I said, we see the Bulma, aka Bulma like hair, we see the Vegeta facial expression. So now with Tap, his name might be a pun on T-back, which is a type of thong, or it could be tap pants, which is a type of women's vintage style underwear. That lines up with how Bulma's family's name works, because in Japanese her name is pronounced Bulma, which comes from bloomers, which is why you often hear me say Bluma, or Bulma, aka Bulma, which is another underwear reference. So names like trunks and bra all follow that same theme. Or even it could be a pun of taproot, which falls into the vegetable puns that the Saiyajins are known for. A lot of people, including myself, are thinking Tap might be tied to Vegeta and Bulma, aka Bulma's family line in this new future, because that perfectly syncs up with the vegetable pun, the underwear pun that is known in Bulma, aka Bulma's family. So he's got to be a descendant. He's got the tail, he's got the hair. I'm very interested to see what his story ends up being and stuff. It just speaks for itself. He's got to be, but we'll find out more as we do go along here and everything like that. In the chat, Don J says, oh yeah, I would like to see descendants of Broly and Vegeta. Broly, Tarbo, since they are the only other Saiyajins left besides Son Goku and Vegeta. Yeah, I would love to see that, and I think they got more to cook with in this story, so I can't wait to see it. So our next character is Rom. Now her profile bio says, a university student who works as an idol. She loves putting smiles on people's faces. I figured that we could see it right there, so that was really cool, and it makes sense. So she's kind of made it as an idol, but she's still taking her schoolwork serious, still going to college, so that's really cool. The Japanese voice actress is Yuhina, and the English voice actress is Elsie Lovelock. And actually, it's honestly really cool, once again, seeing more voice actors and actresses who got their start online becoming official voice actors in Dragon Ball, because Elsie Lovelock, who is someone I actually followed years ago, and I'm still subscribed to her, she did like this really cool Hellfire cover back in the day from the Hunchback of Notre Dame, like a female version of it, and and man, her covers are just awesome. Followed her covers and everything, and she's become a voice actress and everything, so it's really good. And it made me realize no freaking wonder why that song sounded like such a jam, was so awesome at the beginning of the last Xenoverse 3 trailer, because you got freaking LC Lovelock doing it, singing, and anybody who's followed her since her early days on YouTube knows that girl can sing, and the fact that she can voice act too. You put all that together, man. Very happy for her. Very happy to see someone I've followed for a long time, get cool into a Dragon Ball game. So that's really awesome. And yeah, Rom looks like an awesome character. I think she's got one of the best designs. I can't wait to see her personality. We know she loves to make people smile, so she sounds like she's gonna be one of those cool, really wholesome characters, but she probably can fight like man. Like her fighting is probably gonna be on point, so I can't wait to see what we got for her in there and stuff like that. And yes, we still need that song on the playlist. Hopefully Xenoverse 3 will release that as a track. Hopefully it's a track in the game. Oh man, can't wait for it. That thing is gonna be a banger. It really is. So the next up is Lilica. So I know, like I said, I wasn't sure in Japanese it might be pronounced Ririka or Ririka, or in English Lilica. Sorry if I butchered that, but try my best here. So her profile bio says one of the protagonist's classmates in the university they end up attending. And like I said, I don't know if there's something going on with her and Brett. We're gonna have to see, because I got total Gohan and Videl vibes, but man, it's gonna be awesome to see where that goes. And so for the voice actresses for her in Japanese, it is Hina Yomiya, and in the English voice actress, it is Zinte Haun, if I said that right now. Zente Haun. Sorry if I mispronounced that, but just wanted to show respect, because I thought the voice actors and actresses in the English and Japanese dub did a phenomenal job and stuff like that. So I'm very interested to see. So far, we haven't got any vibes that she is a hero or a fighter, and that's the thing that I'm wondering here. Like, is everyone that attends this school actually a fighter? Is it like My Hero Academia, where they all attend to learn how to become heroes and they fight the good fight, or are some of these just intending to learn more about the world? So it's going to be very interesting to see where this goes here. I'm definitely looking forward to it. But yeah, so far, like I said, I'm getting Videl vibes from her, except she's much nicer than Videl was when she came into the story. So I'm looking forward to that and everything. Don J in the chat says, I would like to see this turn into an actual anime. Yes. Yes, yes. Shout out to Don J in the chat. The man knows what's up. Yes, absolutely. That is exactly what I'm saying, man. With it, I definitely want to see that. Like I said, I think this is a nice prequel. Everything that's being fed into Xenoverse 3, I think, can ultimately be transitioned into where the future with Dragon Ball Super can go, where they can retire the classic characters that we all love and know from Toriyama, and Toyotaro can probably take these characters and make them into the next generation of Dragon Ball, the next generation that the series can move forward towards. I would love that. So absolutely, I agree with you 1,000 times and more, Don J. Absolutely. All right, and so next up we got male player and female player, which, as I mentioned, the fan base is dub John 1000 and Jane 1000. So yeah, you probably heard those names online. It's just a meme because they're basically the default create a character templates. They don't have any actual names, since they're just there to show what players can make in age 1000. So a lot of people have been asking, like, who's the white-haired Saiyajin guy? Who's the orange-haired girl from the first trailer? From what we know right now, these two are basically a creative character templates. Toriyama designed them to show off what players can make in the age 1000 era. The white-haired Saiyajin one is clearly obviously Saiyajin, since he goes Super Saiyajin, but the girl's race hasn't been confirmed yet. The actual new story characters with personalities and roles are Brett, Tap, Rom, and Lilica. So that's what we know about these two. So, we try to figure out who are these, and the fan base called them John and Jane, because basically those are just two of the most plain names you could find, two of the most generic names, John, Jane, and call it a day, right? So essentially I'm gonna guess she is a Saiyajin, because I think that's how Xenoverse has always worked. You can choose to be a Majin, you could be Frieza's race, you could be a human, you could be a Saiyajin, and most people are probably picking Saiyajins because they like to transform, right? So you get that. Yeah, so I guess you can make them a Saiyajin and they just have the generic form. So yeah, it's good. Yeah, Toriyama designed these two characters, but they're just there as an example, not anything of significance. They're just there. So they're kind of like mutes that are just there with great facial reactions, but Brad and everyone else is going to carry the story with the actual personalities. So that's what we got out of there. But hey, it's cool that Toriyama even designed these. We get a couple of more designs from Toriyama himself, so that's really good. And yeah, and I'm probably gonna probably pick Saiyajins. That's what I've always done when it came to playing as the characters and stuff. It is what it is, and things like that. Don J in the chat says, but before the introduce age 1000, they have to show Goku Jr. arc first 100 years after Super, since Pan is an old woman at that time period. I don't know if they'll do that, just because Dragon Ball GT is kind of its own thing. Granted, in the Xenoverse realm, they pick things from GT, Z, and the movies, and they all kind of converse as this different multiverse idea. So I mean, technically I guess they can go that route in Xenoverse 3, but if they'll go that route in actual Dragon Ball Super, I highly doubt it. So yeah, but interesting. Yeah, if Goku Jr. even walks into the story at some point, we don't know. We'll have to see how that goes. Bulma, aka Bulma. Yeah, so most of it is still the same. We still don't know how she's maintained her youthfulness, and all the things still check out. We know she abused the Dragon Balls, obviously, in her younger years, during her more natural living years, in terms of like lifespan. She got a lot of enhancements done with the Dragon Balls, so it's probably she's using magic enhancement from Shenlong, aka Shenron, or as that halo thing around her neck could suggest, we know she's tight. She's homies with Whis. Maybe Whis did something for her that allowed her to continue to be able to live deep into the future. So maybe she is a technical genius. She created technology that was able to advance medical technology to make her live a long life. Like I was talking about, she may have been gatekeeping, because in the original Xenoverse trailer, we do see an elderly man who's barely keeping it together. He's got his back and it's crunched over and he's on a cane. Just trying to still make it in life. When meanwhile, Bluma's up here probably 3 times that man's lifespan, lived 3 times that man's lifespan, and up here just looking like she's still in her 30s, maybe late 20s. So interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see what the story here is, especially with Vegeta no longer around. Like it's sad, like she has literally outlived pretty much all her closest friends and family outside of maybe Piccolo. So yeah, you know, like her husband, the love of her life, is not here to enjoy the age 1000 with her, and you know, we'll see what goes on there. But yeah, and for all we know, Bulma, aka Bulma, probably is still in her natural lifespan. Maybe she created the time machine and she has traveled. Maybe she spends time traveling back and forth between the present and the future. Who knows? So I'm just very interested in the story. But yeah, you know, it just really goes to show you that Toriyama he loves Son Goku and Bulma, aka Bulma, a lot, because he still wanted to make her involved in this game, and he still made sure she's involved in a lot of Super, even though she doesn't have the power to use key energy and stuff like that like the other characters. So you can always tell that Bulma, aka Bulma, has a special place in Toriyama's heart and stuff, and especially he still wanted her to be a part of Age 1000 deep in the future, even probably more so than Son Goku and Vegeta, who we know from Dragon Ball Online probably died off in space after a battle when they got elderly and stuff. So yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see where she's going, especially with her being such a big part of this game. And then we have Gamma 1, and I pretty much, like I said, I don't know why he's got the 1000 there to represent he's in Age 1000. It makes sense Gamma's still alive because he's an android, but Why did they never make Gamma 2? These are the questions that I'm hoping Xenoverse 3 answer. Why did Bulma, aka Bulma, despite knowing Dr. Hito, why did they never make a Gamma 2? Why did they not make a Gamma 2 all these years later in the future? A new Gamma 2. Why did they just stick with Gamma 1 and slap a 1000 and make him the one and only Gamma? Gamma 1 seems so hurt by Gamma 2. You think they would have made something by now. So it's very interesting. I don't know why they decided to stick with Gamma 2. Hopefully this story explains it. So yeah, Gamma 1 has seen a lot in his technical lifetime, basically his artificial lifetime, basically, and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what we got there, and I think that's all the characters we got there. So yeah, alrighty, so that wraps up the analysis section and everything. So it's gonna be very interesting. Like I said, I'm more hyped for the story. I can't wait to see what this story in Xenoverse 3 is gonna offer, because man, the possibilities are endless. So much new lore, so much to see what Toriyama had in mind for the future of Dragon Ball beyond the end of Z. So I'm interested to see how much of Dragon Ball Online comes into this and what new he decided to add. So it's gonna be really, really great. All right, let's go to the chat before we wrap things up. Don J says, do you think in this version of 1000 that maybe Son Goku and Vegeta ascended with the gods, or do you think they actually died, because I know Saiyajins age slower than humans? Yeah, so just like I said in